Joining me now is Florida Congresswoman María Salazar. She's a member of the House Foreign Affairs and Small Business Committees. And Congresswoman, I want to get your reaction to both of those sound bites, in particular this reemergence of saying that Harris and Walz are basically socialists. That's something you know a little about.
Wow. Thank you for the opportunity. Just ask any of my constituents. When we hear those words, we cringe. That's why Florida is a red state, specifically South Florida, full of people who have fled socialism. The problem with socialism is that now it's in fashion among our youth because socialists claim the moral ground. You know, they are the morals, they are the fair ones, they are the ones that bring justice. And we, the conservatives or the Republicans, we are the people that do not, that we're not the moral ones. You know, you know the words that we have been described with. But in reality is that they don't have the monopoly on compassion. And what they are promising, it's a fallacy. And we know it very well, where God becomes the government, where you are not responsible for your own actions, where a bureaucrat makes decisions on what to do with your money. I mean, they're blessed that they can be romantic about socialism living in the United States.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Congresswoman, there's a lot there, but, you know, as we move towards November, it's going to continue this discussion. I want you to put on your small business hat here for a second. Bar Rescue host John Taffer, he's helped hundreds of failing businesses regain their footing. He sounded the alarm about small businesses in this country. Watch what he said here.
I drive through a downtown area and I see all the vacant stores. I don't see vacant stores. I see crushed families, crushed dreams. Our government is almost against small business now, Brian. And if we don't protect these businesses, how do we keep unemployment low? How do we have the tax base to grow and develop our country?
Congresswoman, how are these small businesses dealing with inflation? I mean, look at McDonald's. They're now banking their whole earnings forecast on value meals.
And that is part of socialism, and that is what we have been experiencing with the Biden-Harris administration. I try to be, I mean, I was a journalist for 35 years, so I try to be impartial. Look what happened under President Trump. Regardless of what you think of him, but look at your pocket, and look what's happening right now. Insurance is high, rent is high, gas is high. You don't have as much supply chain as you needed to. Your earnings are low, and it's simple. We're in capitalism, where you are out in the business to provide a service and to make a living. But if the government suppresses you with taxes and regulations and insurance, you can't. 66% of this country are the businesses in this country are small. And that's what's happening, what we just heard in that sound bite. We got to stop that. We got to go back to what we had 4 years ago, regardless of who you like or not. You like your pocket.
Well, you know, it's going to be interesting, too, because we got the vice president's schedule for the week, Congresswoman, and there's only two things on here. She's doing some video today. Then on Thursday, she and President Biden are going to Maryland to talk about the progress they're making to lower costs for the American people, which you have to speak to those small business owners because it's tough to be a small business. Congresswoman?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. You can hear me now, though. Yeah, no, I was saying that real quick that we got Vice President Harris's schedule for this week, and there's only two things on there. But on Thursday, she and President Biden are going to Maryland to talk about how they're making progress to lower costs. But the numbers don't seem to play out that.
Yeah, the problem here is that everything is spent, and you know how it works. The problem with Harris and Biden, and more with Harris now, is that she cannot confront the media, and she can read the teleprompter and she can learn some talking points. But the problem is that she encounters someone like you or any professional in the news organizations. She needs to memorize what she doesn't believe. You know, the Bible says that from the mouth, the heart speaks. So I'm just paraphrasing. But what she has in her heart cannot come out through her mouth because it's not what the average American voter wants to hear. So she has to learn the new talking points. And this is very dangerous. That's why I believe that she has not faced the news media before. Because if someone asks you, what's your name, where do you live, and what are the names of your kids, you don't have to, you know it. But the problem with her specifically is that she has to go back on what she believes or back on her record and then say what's convenient. And that's what I think that the average viewer should remember. Why isn't she facing us or you?
Yeah, she's repainting herself as a moderate Democrat after being so progressive when she was a senator. Hey, I did want to ask you about this. Support for Harris among Latino voters is hanging at about 50%. She has to get more of those, though, if she wants to win the White House. And an Axios review of past candidates does show Democrats typically lose when they get less than 64% of the Latino vote. Congresswoman, what do you make of that?
Good, because we are not socialists, because there is not one country. Most Latinos come from the Western Hemisphere. Most of the Latinos who are in this country have come from those failed socialist policies, either in Venezuela or in Cuba or in Nicaragua or in Central America. Those people know what it looks like. They want to live in the United States under the American agenda. They hear that Biden and Harris want to change the American agenda, regardless whether the Democrats have played political football with the Hispanics for 30 years. Hispanics are tired of hearing promises that are never fulfilled, and now they're hearing socialism, and that is nefarious for them. And we, the GOP, that's why I always say, welcome to the GOP. Welcome the Hispanics to the GOP, because we represent the values that we have. And, and I represent the city of Miami, one of the most diverse cities in the United States, where I have a lot of registered Democrats, but they are not socialists. Yeah. And that is the problem. So the more we speak to the Hispanics, the better we are conveying that we are God-fearing, law-abiding, tax-paying, small government. Decide for yourself what you want to do with your life, not a bureaucrat or with your money.
Yeah, look at Venezuela right now and what's happening in that country, Congresswoman. Yeah, it's great to see you as always.
With the largest reserves of oil in the world. Could you imagine? 25% of the population has fled.
And they're all
incredible.
Here.
That's socialism.
Here. Yeah. Congresswoman Maria Salazar, thank you. It's always great to speak with you.